And it's verified. Let's go, dude. Oh my days, I'm so lucky I didn't die to 62. I am so clutch, bro. Yeah. How did I do that? Oh man, my computer's being slow, but whatever, it's fine. I can deal with it. To be honest, I kind of had mixed feelings right now. Because, you know, I kind of thought this was going to feel a lot more monumental, but I don't know, it just really didn't. Awesome. 11,689 plus however many I have on the unlisted copy that I was originally placed as 543. I might as well add it up now, why not? Nine. 12,232, I think. I'll put it in editing if that's wrong. Yeah, Styx verified. Alright. I feel like I owe this level an entire section here just to talk about what has happened with it and just kind of outline all my thoughts on it. Firstly, this was a long time coming. This level has been in production since like May of last year, I want to say, maybe even May of 2024. Basically, whenever I beat Yatagarasu, I was immediately offered this after that. It would have been 2024 then, for sure. And so it has been in the works for quite a long time. So I'm glad I finally got around to doing it. It hadn't been finished for very long, admittedly. It took a long time to get finished, but I'm glad it got finished and I'm glad I was able to beat it. But this level has really outlined one thing that I don't really want to step too far into. I'm just not a good verifier because I don't know anything about the editor and I barely changed anything about this level in my process of verifying it. And that's not a good thing because I'm going to be completely honest here, the level sucks. I really don't like it. It is incredibly awkward, there's no fluidity in the gameplay, everything feels insanely janky and it doesn't get consistent. The ending is by far the hardest part. 52 to 62 is single-handedly the hardest part of the level. It's like thinking space balancing. It's just so bad. And the thing is, I could have fixed that if I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. And it could genuinely be my biggest regret in the game, is picking this up when I knew I wasn't experienced enough to handle something like this. So yeah, if you play this and you don't like it, you have full permission to just shit on me for it, because it is objectively on me that this level sucks. As for if it's gonna get rated, I honestly don't know, and I'm conflicted on either side of the argument. Because on one hand, I've always been very against levels that have bad gameplay getting rated, because then it incentivizes people to play them and people would not enjoy playing them. But on the other hand, like, the decoration looks good and it also wouldn't invalidate my effort of going through and verifying it if it got rated. I guess we'll just have to see what happens with it, and whichever way, I shouldn't care. Yeah, and this is probably a good point to say then. Because of the experience this put me through, I am more than likely not going to verify another level, maybe ever again. I simply can't bring myself... I've never had the motivation to get better at the editor and understand more what I'm doing. So naturally, being a verifier is not something I'm good at, nor am I motivated to get better at it. So, to just avoid problems like this happening again, I just don't want to verify something else. Besides, just sticking to playing levels after they've released is something I've always enjoyed. And I haven't really seen any deficit from that. So if I just continue to do that, I don't think anything is going to be that different. And people are probably going to be satisfied with the quality of some other levels that come out if they're not being verified by me. Now obviously, given that it's a verification, this is where things get a bit iffy about where I'm going to place this thing. Because maybe I'm just like absurdly overrating it, but I really want to put it here at number 5, just below Hard Machine. And my main reasoning is just because it's an incredibly finicky level to get consistent at, to the point that it just doesn't get consistent. Even the Hard Machine did get consistent to some extent. The gameplay was really easy, except for the choke points. But the thing is, Styx is almost completely filled with choke points if you minus the pre-drop. Every single click is stupidly hard. and getting far is so rough. Even getting far on hard machine to an extent wasn't that hard when I started like proper grinding it when I got like a few days in. And then the rest of the levels above it are much different just because of how they handle, like how different their gameplay and progression is. So hard machine's the closest comparison I have, really. Regardless, I could very well see this being around like Rust difficulty, maybe even slightly lower, like around Cobwebs. I could very well see people just finding this insanely easy, especially if they are skilled in ship and wave, which I'm not, so this was a good test for me. If I want to beat something like the Golden, this was probably pretty necessary to do. And it's definitely not as hard as that. I could not see how this would remotely be as hard as the Golden. I'll make that insanely clear. But yeah, I guess we'll see what ends up happening with it. I don't know if it's going to be rated by the time I've posted this or what, but we'll see what happens with this level when it's released.